So
Before the stream was overloaded by my incredible macro knowledge of the game. Yeah, but the top side, basically getting back to my main point, bot side of the map for Wyoming is really good in the 2v2. I am concerned about the scaling in the top side. Sure, they have a lot of support, shielding, the Zillion ult. There's a lot of good support, but there's not a lot of consistent AP damage on this side of Wyoming. So CSU definitely has the opportunity with the Sejuani, with the Shen to just kind of stack armor and just deal with the Olaf and the Zaya as they kind of come into these team fights. I think for CSU, they are technically more well rounded as a team comp in terms of like the different scenarios they can find success in with how they want to play their team comp. I think that the Janna is definitely a glaring weakness if they had something like a Braum, a third frontliner to help out the Zaya or to help out the Kaisa kind of self peel in that sense. I actually do think that this team comp would be incredibly strong and just that much better. But, if that Janna does get kind of run over in the early game, that's the avenue for University of Wyoming to actually like find a way into this game, I'd say.
And with that, we're going to be hopping into the second game of Week 3, Season 3 Optimal League, brought to you by U.GG, the cross group play, cross group playoffs, I guess we'll call it that. On the blue side, despite their tags, because these guys are trying to mess with our heads here, they intentionally did this in the pregame lobby. I want you guys to know that they did this to try and mess with us. We have the University of Wyoming, with Rosero playing the top lane, Olaf Witchell with the Ivern jungle, Papa Francesco on his Zillion mid, and Pomgo and Momgang Please bot lane with the Zaya Nautilus.
Yep, and that means across from them on the red side, it's going to be the CSU Rams Falcon in the top lane on Shen, Ritual piloting the Sejuani in the jungle, Enon 39 with the Akali in the mid lane, and then Geld and 245 on the Kaisa Janna bot lane.
As you were mentioning, we were looking towards the top side of the map. I know that the stream cut out for a second there. The Olaf versus Shen matchup is going to be very interesting to watch. I didn't quite catch everything that you were trying to say there as we were trying to get the stream back up, but I do think that it's going to be a very interesting matchup nonetheless. Olaf known for being extremely aggressive in the early game, and Shen much more passive, he can get some really solid trades going for himself. I think that is one thing that Shen really has going for himself, is a lot of people underestimate his amount of damage, but depending on which one of those top laners gets ahead early will definitely kind of dictate the total global play, I think, because of Falcon can get himself ahead, get some kind of lead. He's going to be playing towards the bot side of the map, getting this Kaisa rolling, getting the Akali rolling, finding whatever ways he can get aggressive Stand United going forward so he can get advantages for the rest of his team, whereas Rosero is going to want to try and run away with any kind of lead he can get in lane. And so hold on a second though, 245 dropping extremely low there. Is like not going to kill him? It is actually. Momgang Please with the early level 1 hook. And a quick first blood that we were not expecting.
Yeah, because the Janna did not take Tornado at level 1 or even the shield, not able to peel for herself, and that's already off to a really good start for Wyoming. Kind of the way that they want to snowball this game right here is through this bot lane. And they did exactly what I thought they would. The Janna is just too squishy early on and not really able to deal with the base damage that Nautilus provides. And then the Zaya, even at level 1, just does enough auto attack damage to actually put that much pressure down onto her. So already very quick first blood, and kind of seeing this lane start to get out of hand. We'll see if the Sejuani is able to kind of help recover that, though, as she comes down into the bot lane.
Looks like we're already having more trading going on the top side. Sejuani getting rooted underneath turret, though, as Pomco drops low himself. A lot of trading going on back and forth between the top and the bottom side of the map. Ivern is sitting around on the bot side, kind of hovering, looking if there's anything he can do, but Rosero once again going aggressive on the top side. Does he have another undertow? He does not. It's a flash away by Falcon there. He's going to keep himself alive. And something I want to quickly note, Kaisa still has heal. Janna could have lived, but no heal was used, no Janna was saved. Very unfortunate that 245 fell to that ignite earlier. But
And
we digress.
kind of transitioning up into that top lane fight, Rosero is playing the Olaf like I want him to in this top lane. You have to literally be so over-aggressive that you essentially go for tower dives at level 3 with how much pressure you are trying to put on him. Shen does not have the ability to match you in the early game, especially when you take Conqueror. You should be forcing him under tower, poking him with these undertows like we're seeing right now. And even at level 1, level 2, that's when you need to be going for those plays, because if you're able to score a first blood super early on against the Shen, it is so difficult for him to actually start fighting back until he gets some armor on him.
Yeah, we already see that Shen was forced to go back and has picked up just a ruby crystal for himself, some health, a pink ward, and a couple of extra potions to try and keep himself healthy already. Feeling the pressure that Rosero has against him here. He's only 4 CS down, but that can quickly start surmounting into larger CS differentials. As a longsword picked up by Rosero means that he's going to have a little bit extra damage in this lane, can look for more aggressive trades. As we see, he's hit level 5, finds the undertow into the reckless strike, and again it's just throwing out undertow after undertow there, trying to get as much damage as he can. Witchell flashes forward, he finds the Q onto Falcon there. That's going to be the auto attack immune shield coming in, but it does not matter because Shen does not have his flash available, and he goes down to Rosero and Witchell there. Excellent combination of those two, getting in, finding the CC, and just dropping Falcon down, who they knew had no flash and no teleport.
Yeah, and that's just the pressure that the Olaf provides because he didn't have that flash. It was very easy for Witchell to get that gank off successfully. Getting the Olaf snowballed in the top side is yet another power point where Wyoming can kind of flex up in the early game. So good on them to be able to start that off strong and put this Shen as far behind as possible until he gets like Ninja Tabby and a couple armor items for himself. It's going to be really difficult for him to actually be able to match the Olaf in this lane, and I would definitely expect him to just kind of constantly be sitting under tower trying to get CS as Olaf pushes him in.
Yeah, and I would not be surprised to see Rosero go for something like the likes of a Black Cleaver here, which would make it even more difficult for Falcon to take him in 1v1 because of the armor shred that he'll have available before Falcon even really has time to stack up any items of his own. We already see Rosero hit level 6. He does have the Ragnarok available if he decides to go for another 1v1 trade here, as both junglers are on the bottom side of the map, so he does not have to fear an outweight or a weighted fight against him. So he's just trying to, pushing out this wave, and is going to try and get back so he can spend some of the gold that he's already accumulated for himself after that kill he got.
Yep, and Ivern now heading down into the bot side, looking to see what he can do to assist. Even after that first blood, the Kai'Sa is actually still out farming this Xayah down in bot lane, and I wonder if that's due to the part of that Sejuani gank that kind of put her at low HP and made her have to play a little bit less aggressive than she wanted to.
Kind of sitting underneath turret, looking for an opportunity to get into this lane. I don't know if he's been seen quite yet, but the pink ward used in the lane brush to try and provide an opportunity for this Ivern to sneak into that bush. So Witchell has found his way into the bot lane. Dean on 39. Looks like he's trying to hover down towards that bot side. Looking like he wants to try and make something happen as well. But man, a lot of time being used up by this Ivern on the bot side of the map, and they're not able to find anything here because they have the wave already pushing up into the enemy side of the map. So looks like Witchell just ended up wasting a lot of time in that bot lane bush.
Yeah, and I think he's more there just for the counter gank in case the Sejuani comes. It's very clear that with that pink ward put down, you know, it might have been a little bit of a tell that he was down there, so Kai'Sa doesn't have to really play as far up, especially when she has that flash. But, you know, up in the top side, if the Olaf is not being ganked at all or put any pressure on him, then he'll just got to be able to free reign, and Sejuani won't really be able to do too much unless she gets him when they're both near a higher HP threshold. So I feel like bot lane, once both of these junglers hit 6, is where a lot of the action is actually going to be taking place.
Level 60 should be coming up soon here for both junglers, as this first round of Rust has now finally spawned into the second round. Both junglers level 5. Typically it's about the second time you pick up your first buff that you hit that level 6 or a camp afterwards, and so we should be looking for a little bit more aggressive happening out of these junglers. Sejuani having access to the ultimate, Witchell having access to Daisy, mean that their ganks will be a little bit more aggressive and provide a lot more utility as well. So we'll have to see where they decide to take their first ganks now that they have access to their ultimates, as Mom Gang Please drops the depth charge there, but is not going to be able to find his way onto 245 as a minion eats the hook coming out from Nautilus instead.
Yeah, that was a little unfortunate right there. The minion wasn't killed off by Palm Goat or Mom Gang Please's depth charge, so a pretty much guaranteed kill since Janna wasn't even level 6 yet. Denied by that one small HP minion, so pretty fortunate, I would say, for the side of CSU being able to get away with that and get the Nautilus ult out as well.
Not a whole lot going on the map after those first few early kills. Zero still bullying Falcon on the top side. We may see a dive going on here. Decides to pick up that Undertow. It looks like he's too low on mana to risk going for something like that, as Falcon is once again forced to recall as he drops extremely low. This gives us an opportunity to look around at the scoreline so far, and we have about 1,000 gold lead in favor of University of Wyoming. As hold on, Denon39 just says, I'm not done playing aggressive quite yet. Finally finds his way. Let's pop with Sesko there and gets a bunch of damage traded down. No kill just quite yet.
Yep, and in that matchup against Zillion, you never really have to actually go for the kill. Oh, actually
what are you doing? Dashing forward into the Zero there. That is not what you want to be doing. As instead, actually, a little bit of a bait. As he flashes away, is able to pick the kill based off the turret damage alone, and now he goes back and using the Stand United, is able to pick up a double kill for himself there. What I thought was a little bit of an ended up being in favor of the CSU Rams there.
Yeah, and honestly, that's the one part where Shen does actually have the advantage in those very small windows under tower dives like that. The 2 seconds, like the 1.5 to 2 seconds where Olaf cannot actually auto attack is actually huge if he does not have any cooldowns to go with it. Flash forward by the Nautilus though.
Please, as he finds his way onto Janna, there is the Monsoon. He needs to keep himself safe, but it does not matter because the Ignite is able to pick the kill onto Janna. Continuing forward, teleport coming out by Shen here. Will he make it in time to get the dash? He does, and that's going to be a stun and a kill given over to Kaisa. Mom Gang Please dropping extremely low. Not quite enough damage just yet. Does use the freeze, does use the stun. Papa Francisco coming from the side is forced to use the ultimate on himself. Going to be going down, will revive in a second here. First path there, but that is going to be Dino39 gets in, finds a kill, but a double kill by Papa Francisco as he gets the double bomb down, picking up Ritual and Falcon on the backside of that fight.
And all while this is going on, the Olaf is split pushing top lane, has that Demolish, almost taking down 4 total turret plates very close on this side. And on the top side, they were able to get that 2 for 0 trade, but trading it effectively right back down into the bot lane. I will say that because the Xayah and the Nautilus didn't actually focus the Kaisa through that entire fight, that's why she was able to put out so much damage kind of on the return, using her ultimate to buy as much time as possible. And she's definitely the stronger of the 2 AD carries, even if the Janna is more susceptible to those 2v2 kills.
Yeah, it was very unfortunate that Janna fell early in on that fight, but a great job by Ritual and Denon39 and Falcon. The entire team really showing up on the bot side to get some return kills, but man, Papa Francisco, there's been so many plays this game so far that we've seen where we think somebody makes the wrong play. We saw Falcon dash for it earlier and then flash back in the turret in order to keep himself alive, ending up in a double kill for himself. And I thought for sure Papa Francisco was just throwing away his ultimate for free by taking the path that he did, but he ended up almost baiting everyone into that tunnel to be CC'd by Mom Gang Please, to be CC'd by Witchell, and allowing for him to pick up a double kill off the double bomb himself. So some interesting Mastery of Champions, I'll call it, as Rosero once again fighting on the top side. Witchell has showed up again. Daisy is dropped. No Undertow available just quite yet. He's not picked up the axe in order to get the reset on the cooldown. He throws the second one. That's going to be Falcon just walking away from that fight.
Yeah, and because Witchell showed up on the top side, actually, they are going to be responding now for CSU. Getting that dragon, they have the priority, going to be able to take out that mountain dragon. And that's pretty good scaling, I would say, for any kind of Baron rush or other dragon attempts that they want to do in the future, giving themselves a little bit of a chance to intro pick a nice double bomb stun right there by Papa Francesco. actually a pretty good trade. But on the other side of the map now, because of that, Olaf and Ivern are going to be taking down this Rift Herald. Doesn't look like it's going to be contested at all by CSU. We'll see if it's another play right here.
It's going to be dead Tori used by Mom Gang Please once again. This time the hook does land onto 245, which means Palmgo picks up the kill for himself. Another teleport used. This time it's Dean on 39. Shen Stand United is used. Mom Gang Please goes down. There's now 4 members of the CSU Rams on the bot side of the map. It would be 5 if Janet was still alive, but that's going to be Rift Herald going down and a 1-for-1 trade used, but so many ultimates and summoners used by the size of the CSU Rams.
Yeah, and right now, Wyoming has a really good opportunity with this Rift Herald to actually try to punish and look for an opening. Looks like Olaf might actually be taking it up in the top lane to see if he actually wants to or not here. But because all of these global summoners are down, no more TP for Falcon or that Stand United, no Stajani ultimate, no Akali ultimate or TP. There's just a lot of stuff being invested down into this bot lane. Granted, it's definitely working in terms of the turnaround pressure that they're actually having, but it does not really feel like the amount they're expending is really netting as much of a reward as they could be getting.
Finally have had first turret fall on the top side of the map. All those ultimates, all those summoners used to try and respond to the bot lane fight means that Rosero has had so much free time to really go ham on that top lane turret. He has now resulted in a 30 CS lead on top of Falcon, as well as picking up all those turret platings and the turret for himself. Now this is going to be Rosero trying to take advantage and push him further. He's going forward onto Falcon. Here uses the Ragnarok in order to get on the Falcon. He's going to be able to pick up the first kill for himself. Ritual forced to flash away as well. Does not have the Glacial Prison available to even stun Rosero once that Berserker's Rage disappears. And so that's going to be the 1-for-2 in favor of the University of Wyoming there.
Yeah, and you know that was kind of the next play that I was expecting to see, if the Sejani was going to be able to actually help out Shen in that 2v1 against Olaf, but because there was no Glacial Prison to even threaten, that was a pretty easy kill for Olaf to actually go for. Trading flashes, sure, but still able to pick up the kill in the 1v2, which is, you know, with that Ragnarok, it's just so difficult to actually lock him down, even though you do have those 2 melees for Sejani's passive.
And as we were mentioning earlier, Black Cleaver is completed for Rosero here, and really no armor items to be seen by Falcon. He was only sitting on the cloth armor, not even a ninja tab. He's decided to go for what looks like a rush on the completed Titanic Hydra instead, as he's already sitting on the Tiamat and Jerome's Fist. So we'll have to see how this works out for Falcon. I don't think it's necessarily the play, but honestly for Shen, you do need to kind of complete that Titanic Hydra to allow for this pressure going. Flash forward goes to the Death Torch, falls into the Kaisa, he's gets stuck up, he's still slide a little bit of time, is able to flash away, he'll keep himself safe. That leaves 2, 4, 5 on the other side of the wall. He's gonna have some backup here. Ritual has shown up, he does have access to the execution now. It's gonna be landing onto the Ivern. Not enough damage to his follow-up. Falcon is going to the backside, it's gonna set up Witchel. Again, nice. Not enough damage coming in through as Palmco gets the feather pull through 3 members of the CSU Rams, resulting in the stun of the double kill. That is going to be enough time for Rosero to get the teleport down into the bot lane. He picks up a kill for himself. Papa Francesco finds the 4th, and just like that, all those summoners used out in response by University of Wyoming result 4 kills. Rift Herald has been dropped. They pick up the first outer turret in the bot lane. They're now going to be looking for this inner turret on the bot lane as well, and just a huge gold swing in favor of the University of Wyoming.
Yeah, and that's really the play. I feel like that's going to break it open now for Wyoming. They're going to be able to get that Rift Herald charge and take down the inner tower and onto this inhib tower as well, take some damage down. And there we saw the counter punch that Wyoming kind of has in their back pocket, the double TP from Papa Francesco and Rosero being able to kind of come down and actually dissuade the fight that we feel like we've seen CSU go for every single time, and eventually it would have to kind of break just because of how, in a sense, kind of predictable they're trying to make it. Really, I would say the biggest thing that turned around that fight, though, was Papa Francesco's double bomb onto 3 people, getting that triple stun, and that's what allowed Rosero to have the time to actually finish the TP and come in through the back line. So this Infernal Dragon, a very big prize, but honestly, the Zillion Bomb's just doing so much work in zoning them off of this Dragon.
And we were mentioning before that Papa Francesco does enjoy playing this Zillion. It is one of his combo picks, something that is exclusive to him and a couple of other players on OL. I think Trinity also plays it, but Papa Francisco really being one of the largest Zillion players that we have. And you can see why. He's sitting at 3-0 and 3, 20 CS up, and he's just been having so much pressure throughout the entirety of this game, really, using those ultimates and especially those double bombs to provide so many stuns, so much utility, and quite a bit of damage for his team.
Yep, and now with this pretty sizable gold lead in this pockets of University of Wyoming, the Baron coming up in less than a minute, we'll see where they want to shift their focus. With the Ivern, definitely provides very unique Baron taking opportunities with that Daisy, being able to just tank up for his team. And I fully expect them to try to rush it as quickly as possible because of just how much pressure they'll have around the map.
30 seconds until this Baron is going to be spawning. Taking a quick look at the ward coverage, a lot of wards by the side of CSU Rams, but only on their bot side of the map, as we only really have the one Scuttle Crab around this Baron with only 10 seconds to go. You would expect a little bit more ward coverage coming out from these teams, but I guess that's what they're going to be looking to do now. There's a lot of darkness coming out on the side of the University of Wyoming. They are far ahead. They're sitting at about a 7,000 gold lead for themselves. But that is not going to be enough to make up for the fact that they can't see their opponents engaging on them, that they will most likely lose a fight. Please going forward though, plants the hook, uses the depth charge, but he is all alone when he uses that combo, so he's not going to have any follow-up damage, and that Nautilus ultimate is not going to be down for any kind of follow-up fight. Ritual going in onto Rosero there, he's taking a lot of damage as Berserker's Rage is being used. Ragnarok drops, but it does not matter because he has the backup of his team, so the Sejuani ultimate finding the pick where the Nautilus ultimate did because of the sheer amount of members available to help you out. But at the end of the day, you get the inside track as well because you showed 3 people topside, which means the mid inner turret is going to be dropping down in favor of the University of Wyoming.
Yep, and that's just kind of the ebb and flow of how this game is going to go. If you ever go for a kill on the side lane like that and commit lots of members, just kind of leaves the rest of the map pretty open for any kind of counter punch on the side of the macro. So really good of Wyoming to recognize that and immediately go and commit to that play. I was a little bit surprised since they used the Sejuani ultimate, sure, but they actually didn't use a lot extra outside of that. So, you know, if they were feeling especially ambitious, they might have actually tried to go for some kind of a flank with that position they had in the top side to try to collapse on the 4 that were around in mid lane. It looks like they're not going to go for that play. I am still a little bit surprised that the Shen elected to complete the Titanic Hydra and also not have Ninja Tabby when the majority of the damage is still coming out from this Kaisa and the Olaf, but we'll see if that's going to kind of end up paying off for him as he continues to scale up in the game.
And just like that, the Baron has spawned. We're 22 minutes in, and suddenly the Baron dance has begun as both teams suddenly remembering that the big purple worm is on the map and kind of dancing around it. Not a whole lot of ward coverage available on either side, though both teams do have pink wards in the pit. It looks like currently University of Wyoming has a little bit more priority on it as they do have the gold advantage and the pressure advantage around the map. Minion waves in favor of our boys on the blue side, and so Shen has been forced down into the bot lane to try and deal with this minion wave crashing up. Rosero does not have teleport currently available, but it will be available in just a few seconds here. So the response in case of the Stand United or the teleport coming out by Shen here is available for University of Wyoming if they decide to go for the 4-1 split and play this Baron game, which will clearing out the ward in the back of the pit. Means that now sole control of the Baron pit belongs to University of Wyoming in terms of vision.
Yeah, and honestly, Wyoming doesn't even have to really get Baron to pressure the objective. They can literally just start it and try to burn out the Shen Stand United, and then just kind of back off and let that continue, and then they'll be able to do the same thing with this TP. Olaf just doing so much damage in this 1v1. Like, if they leave this Olaf alone for any period of time with the Demolish proc that he has, he'll be able to take this Inhib tower for sure. Looks like they're actually committing the Akali to come down here, try to help out the Shen, but at this point,
oh, there goes Ragnarok being dropped down. A lot of turret shots being absorbed by Rosero, but he's able to pick up the kill off of one Undertow from downtown. And now he is forced to back away, though, because that is going to be the Dino 39 going in, has a lot of damage, but he's not able to pick it up.
Wow.
As Rosero is just so ridiculously strong. Flash forward by Papa Francisco there, is not able to land the double bombs for himself. But Kai'Sa has to run away so low on health. And just like that, that is going to be the Baron given over for free. I mean, you do have Ritual on the backside of this pit. Papa Francisco sees him, is trying to run him down. That is going to be Ritual not able to get into that pit. He dashes forward. Is he looking for the flash in? He's not stunned up. Double bomb is used. This Baron is taking forever to go down. Finally, the Glacial Prisoner Throne, which is dropping extremely low, forcing his redemption to keep himself healthy. But they are just stalling out this Baron. Stand United, so much time that Falcon has to respond, but it does not matter because that's going to be Ritual going down to the double bomb of Papa Francisco, which means this Baron is now free to take. The redemption being dropped down, is not going to be able to pick up that kill. The Smite picking it up as Mom Gang Please gets auto attack in. Baron is finally picked up by University of Wyoming there. And now Falcon forced to back away, but man, what a disaster of a couple of plays for CSU there.
Yeah, and honestly, that 1v2 in the bot lane right there was just so impressively played by Rosero. Multiple points I feel like he could have actually been taken down, but just because of how much damage and how much flat AD he had with that Conqueror up, that last Undertow taking down Falcon was really the tipping point of that 1v2. Being able to secure both of those kills allowed for the rush of the Baron and then the eventual kill over of Ritual as well. So this should be the second Infernal now going over. Lots of scaling for the side of Wyoming and already using that Baron buff up in the top lane to try to finish off that last inner tower.
Finally do have a Brambles Vest by Falcon here, so hopefully he'll be taking a little bit less damage into this Olaf 1v1. But at this point, Rosero is just so huge. He is so far ahead. He has the completed Black Cleaver. He has the completed Titanic, and now has picked up the Righteous Glory for himself. So if Shen is ever able to get the taunt away, he can just pop the Righteous Glory and speed up, hop back onto his Shen, get a few more Undertows, get those trades going back again for himself, because all he needs to do is pop Ragnarok to cancel the taunt. And he can just continue to beat down on Falcon here, as he's just so ridiculously strong at the moment. And as we just saw, even if you send somebody up to help out Falcon in the top lane or in the side lane to deal with this Olaf, if you're not careful, he will kill both of you.
Yeah, it's definitely a three-man job at this point, I would say, to be able to take down this Olaf. I do still think, actually, with the Kai'Sa, you're able to take him down relatively quickly because he doesn't actually have that many resistances for himself. It's mostly just like offensive tanky items that he's built. But at this point, kind of committing that many resources down into the bot lane or wherever he's split pushing is just gonna be punished because of the Baron buff that's on the side of University of Wyoming. If they go for that play without it,
there's the depth charge coming out immediately. Dean on 39 goes down. Rosero completely ignoring Falcon here as he walks forward. He pops the Ragnarok in order to get onto Kai'Sa here, but unfortunately it's not going to be enough as he got kited out quite hard there, as we were saying. He really has held 2-4-5, forces one soon in order to keep himself alive as the Stand United also comes in. Falcon is there as backup, but entire standing members of University of Wyoming on this inhibitor turret, and they are going to be able to pick up the first turret there. He's inhibitor open, Witchel going forward, Falcon also moving forward. He's going to get bombed, and that's going to be Papa Francisco picking up another kill, going unstoppable himself as Mom Gang Please finds his way onto Kai'Sa, drops the Ignite, but Palmgo is also able to pick up a second kill for himself. Man, just such a far lead. Palmgo. Oh. That wasn't the play, and that's going to be the dash forward coming out by Dean on 39. Uses the Gunblade to pick up the kill, but it does not matter because he's going to be going down to Mom Gang Please. A little bit of a misstep by the AD carry, but I don't think it's going to matter too much longer, as this is going to be the first Nexus turret going down for University of Wyoming. They're going to be rotating over to the second one. Rosero is jumping onto Ritual. He pops the Ragnarok. He's going forward. He cannot be CC'd. The second Nexus turret falls down. This is going to be University of Wyoming picking up the win, as they're going to be dropping the Nexus finally, and that is going to be University of Wyoming picking up the second win of this series. I believe that is 2 wins that we have now for the blue side. I don't remember if that's Lunar or Solar.
That is the Solar group. So right now they are
Solar
2-0 on the stream right now. We'll let the check
on
in and
stream.
see the rest of the games are going in that regard. But yeah, Solar having a pretty strong showing right now just on the games that we've seen so far. They seem like they've been drafting very strong comps and very strong like stylistic comps with how they actually like to play. Um, Especially that Iron on Witchell definitely had some good presence in the early game, and kind of as he went through, just constantly shielding, assisting, and just disrupting the team fight that CSU wanted to play.
Yeah, and something really interesting to take a look at is despite how much praise we gave to Rosero for his playing on the top lane with his Olaf, it was really Papa Francesco who came out with the most damage in this game. If we take a look at the graphs, sitting at about 2,000 extra damage above Rosero there. And he was kind of the unsung hero. I mean, we were talking about some of his double bombs that were doing a fantastic job at stunning up the enemy team, but we just forget how much damage that these bombs really do. And they're so safe to throw out for him because you could just throw out one bomb or throw out a couple bombs and speed yourself away. And so he was doing a ridiculous amount of damage his entire time around. So congrats to the University of Wyoming there. They did a fantastic job. They played well. And we have one last game for the rest of the night. Is going to be our 9th place seeds for the Lunar and Solar groups. These are our last place teams, so we can expect some fun games coming up. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. And so I'll give you guys turret damage. They're asking, where is it at?
Total damage. The turret's under total damage dealt.
Total damage dealt. There it is. What is puff? What is... Yikes. Okay. We'll be right back.
I'm a crack in your glass. Watch me run down under your fingers. Maybe I'm indifferent. Shut down. Oh, you know me all too well. All too well. 'Cause no, I'm not an anthem. No, I'm not your hope. No, I'm not an idea. You decided was gold. 'Cause I know I'm a sinner, but I could be a saint in your head. No, I don't got religion, but I'll tip my hat till I'm dead. And know you're not a season set to leave me in the cold, but still I caught a sickness. The time you said I was, said I baby, I'm magnificent. Shut down, take me to the water, watch me drown, watch me drown. 'Cause I know I'm not innocent, but if you let me, I can show you how it feels to be buried underground. 'Cause I know I'm a sinner, but I could be a saint in your head. No, I don't got religion, but I'll tip my hat till I'm dead. You know you're not a season set to leave me in the cold, but still I got a sickness. The time you said I was, said I
Grab my hand and don't let go. I'm afraid, but you need to know it will be okay. I promise this today that I will never leave your side. It's gonna be you and I against the world. No one can keep us apart. You and I holding on together, gonna feel alright. It's just us and them, and I will never ever let them see you my hand and don't let go. I'm afraid, but you need to know it will be okay. I promise this today that I will never leave your side. And I against the world. No one can keep
But the only song that ever told you, man, I only love it when you touch me. Not feel like
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back as we're going to be hopping into our third and final stream of the night. This time is going to be Havoc's For Fun team versus Hawkeye Community College, and we're going to be using Pro Draft this time around, so it's a little bit different than normal. And on the blue side, we have Havoc For Fun team. On the red side, Hawkeye's Community College. Lee Sin, Riven, Kaisa, Pike being our first rotations of bands so far. My name is Loud Thoughts. I'm joined again for the last time tonight by Obongo. Are you ready for this?
I am absolute ready for the colossal battle between the 9th place teams in both of these groups who will come out and defend the honor of the lunar or solar groups. So we get ourselves through the first ban wave. The Silas and the Thresh are going to be those last ones taken off of the game. We'll see what Havoc's For Fun team wants to first pick. Lots of good options. The Akali potentially being one they could look to use as a flex pick if they want to, but we'll see what they want to go for. It's actually going to be the first pick, Ivern, for themselves here.
Oh boy, we got it this time, Obongo. Instead of being targeted ban out, they're going to just pick up the Ivern for fun. Yasuo Alistar being locked in by Hawkeye Community College. I would not be surprised if that is just their bot lane duo right off the bat that they're going to be playing. We've seen the Yasuo Gragas tonight. Let's see the Yasuo Alistar. I'm prepared for it.
Yep, picking up that Yasuo. Not too bad of a champion to begin with, especially if he's paired with a lot of knockups. We'll see if Hawkeye is going to be putting him in that bot lane again with something like the Alistar. Lucian actually being locked in for Havoc's For Fun team along with the Teemo. There it is. This is
There
what
it
I was
is.
hoping for between these two teams, pulling out all the stops to try to have as much fun as possible.
I mean, they are the For Fun team, so this is about what we expected from them. See Jarvan being hovered. They're gonna go for the pure knockup team composition. They're playing around this Yasuo. This is Pro Draft, which means this Teemo is a legit pick. Unless they say otherwise, but I would presume that the reason they did Pro Draft is so that they can lock in their picks as they want them, because that's the point of doing it. So we do have Jarvan locked in as the final pick of the first rotation. Nami being banned out. Looks like they're probably going to target ban supports here.
Yep, that Nami's going to be taken away. Don't want to have to deal with that in the bot lane. It looks like the Sivir is going to be banned over as well. On the side of Havoc's team, they are going to want to just kind of ban out any good matchups that will scale well and scale better than that Lucian down in the bot lane. They want to give themselves a very good, strong lane for that Lucian to be able to succeed in. Poppy is going to be the second ban for Hawkeye Community College. Throwing it back over to Havoc's For Fun team. We'll see what they want to finish off in this second rotation of bans.
Couple of interesting picks so far, that's for sure. We do have the Teemo being locked in, something I look forward to seeing how they manage to play around it. Caitlyn is going to be the final ban. I'm surprised that they're banning out 80 carries when we're under the assumption that the Yasuo is going to be going into that bot lane alongside this Alistar. Maybe they know something that we don't. But now,
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to go into the bot lane though. The Yasuo Jarvan is a really strong 2v2 in mid lane or in that top lane, depending on where you want to put it. I would guess that it's probably going to be mid or bot though, just because you wouldn't want to put the Yasuo against the Teemo up in the top lane, just because that would be a pretty annoying matchup for him to have to kind of deal with in that regard. Is going to be the Rumble locked in, so kind of have a feeling that Yasuo is actually going to be going in bot lane. I wouldn't really want to play the Rumble into Teemo either. Probably want something that's also ranged up in that top lane to kind of deal with him. Italy being hovered now, and it's actually going to be locked in as well. I wonder where that's going to be going.
this is the Season 1 Hotshot GG tank Nidalee on hit in the top lane that we're seeing once again. I may or may not be completely... That or it's the Season 1 full AP Nidalee. with Spears from downtown, but it's one of those two for sure.
Yeah, definitely. If that Rakan gets locked in. No, it is not. It's going to be the Camille.
I have no
I
idea
think
what
it's. I
they're
think
doing.
okay. I think I know what their team comp is going to be.
I'm
I
glad you have an idea. I'm gonna let the
yeah.
team comp explain itself later. For now, I'm gonna focus more on Hawkeye Community College and see whether or not I've been baited to believe this Yasuo is in the bot lane this entire time. If they lock in an 80 carry here, I've been jebaited. If they don't, it means I was jebaited this entire. I can't get anything right on these drafts today, man. Come on.
Well, I
Unless
don't blame you. I do not blame you with this game. I mean, honestly, either of these teams could have a multitude of different positions being played. The Vayne doesn't even have to be in the bot lane to begin with. I would expect it to be down there. Boy, this is going to be very interesting back and forth. Obviously, we'll see as we actually get into the champ select where these two teams are going to be going.
hear me out. So they did this in blind pick, and now they're
I,
locking in all their champions where they need to be doing it. So we'll reveal that all at the end. Oh, looks like
I think they realized that they were doing
they
blind pick
realize
instead
the
of
mistake
random
they have
draft.
made.
No, to be honest, they could actually just finish it out anyway.
Imagine. This is a disaster. We apologize, guys. This is not what Optimal League stands for. This is just our for fun week. So
So okay, so I think from what I saw in the beginning of that champ select, when people were looking to lock things in, it's going to be Lucian Timo bot lane. It's going to be, boy, I think it's going to be Camille mid, Nidalee top, Ivern jungle. That's my get. That's my prediction for what they're going to be doing on that side. And then for Hawkeye, I have absolutely no idea what they're actually going to be, where they're going to be putting people.
okay, so what I started seeing, I was kind of disappointed because I was hoping that I would be right all along. Is that it is going to be Vayne in the bot lane, probably Yasuo top or mid. What I was hoping that they would run like the Vayne top Yasuo bot and just like Monkey Clown Fiesta this game and put everything anywhere it doesn't belong. Like we have a full AP Alistar mid for some reason, that would be great. Um, Stuff like that, pretty standard League of Legends. And so we're just waiting for this lobby to be remade. It looks like everyone's leaving and going over to the actual lobby here, where they're going to be doing proper drafts. So I'm actually going to go ahead and leave this party so that they can give us the invite. Give us a few minutes here, guys. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes when we have the draft up and running. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
I return to my training.
You wouldn't have a day in the void.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We're just going to be going through the pick and ban really quickly here, as these teams have already done it in Pro Draft. So we have the Lee Sin, the Riven, the Pyke, the Kai'Sa. As you mentioned before, we have some interesting picks that were previously chosen, so let's run it back for our crowd. This time we finally have the draft done correctly in tournament draft mode, so this way we can keep track of the bans, the picks, and everything that's going on. All hunky-dory and spicy. The Camille was the final pickup for Havix for Fun Team, and it looks like it is going to be going into the top lane, which means Teemo is not going there.
Yep, I think now with the Camille being in top lane, it's going to be Camille, Ivern, and Nidalee, Lucian, Teemo in that order from top to bottom. It's going to be Rumble to match up against that Camille in top lane. So we have the Rumble, we have the Jarvan, and it looks like it's actually going to be that Yasuo mid lane against the Nidalee. So definitely not a matchup that we really ever see, I would say. So should play out pretty interestingly.
Wait, is it the Teemo mid? Please tell me that it's going to be the Teemo mid into the Yasuo. No, okay, they do lock in the Nidalee. It is going to be Havoc playing the Nidalee in the middle-y. I guess that's how that works now. Alrighty. And so from here, the rest of the standard composition, you know how it goes. You have the Vayne Alistar bot lane into the Lucian Teemo. So pretty standard stuff, I would say.
Standard is one way to put it, yeah.
It's just business.
Standard AD carry support in the bot lane, but let's talk about how we think these team compositions are going to go, or at least as best as we can.
Hawkeye Community College's team is a lot better. Just in terms of the looking at it from a quote unquote traditional sense, I would say.
What gave you that idea? The middle-y or the Teemo support?
You know, just an inkling, you know, as a caster that I
It's a
can
gut feeling.
Yeah, gut feeling, able to look at both of these teams and just kind of pick that one out. But so I would say that in the traditional sense, Hawkeye's team comp is definitely the better. However, the team for Havoc's for Fun Team does have some potential to pull off an upset here. I would say not a terrible chance if not for that Nidalee mid. I don't actually think that that's really going to have much of an impact, especially against something that can, like the Yasuo, that can actually block with the Wind Wall. The Nidalee Ivern is not a very strong 2v2 in mid jungle. I think the Teemo will actually get a reasonable advantage just because it's range versus melee in the top lane for him. In bot lane, actually, it is the Teemo top. I wonder if it's actually Camille support into the Alistar.
Wait, are they allowed to do that? Is that legal? They can just keep switching it like that?
I guess they'll just keep switching. I guess we don't know where these champs are.
I guess we
gonna be
really
going.
don't have any idea where these champs are going.
All right, I will not say anything until things are locked in. Oh, I hope it stays that way because then my original prediction would have been right with Nidalee top.
Is it? It looks like it's going to be that way because I think they have to lock in with 20 seconds left.
Okay, all right.
So
Yep, they're gonna put the Camille into the matchup into Yasuo to give that slight advantage. That excellent. That's why I'm a smart cat. Oh, or you know, maybe we just won't play this game after all. Who knows?
one of these days we will have an idea of where these champions are going. You have to lock in 20 seconds.
That's not. Is that an actual rule for OL? I know that's for LCS, but
I know that's for LCS. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going to yet another break here to try and figure out what's going on with these team comps. They're having arguments over what the rules are, so we'll be right back. We're going to consult some admins and don't go anywhere.
To break each other's heart. Yeah. You said don't look back and find a road to follow.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are finally into our third and final game of the night. My name is Loud Thoughts for the final time, joined here by Obongo, and on the blue side we have Havoc's For Fun team with Zacchus on fire playing Nidalee top, Kit on the jungle, Ivern the second one of tonight, surprisingly. The Havoc playing Camille mid, Nutty Bars, and Marina Botine playing Lucian Teemo bot lane, but really quickly, Nua's getting jumped onto the jungle. No Summoner's Force just quite yet, but it looks like a lot is going to be happening so far in this early game. But yeah.
And on the red side, we have Hawkeye Community College. It's going to be Not Today Buddy in the top lane with that Rumble GRF Arcane in the jungle on Jarvan, Nuez in mid on that Yasuo, Susboy Bebop, and Big Man Horus on the Vayne Alistar bot lane.
And we apologize for the long delay, guys. We're having some issues with the champion select. We are finally in game, though. Looks like we have figured out where these champions are going. So it's going to be the Nidalee in the top lane, the Camille in the mid lane. I know that you're happy about that, Obonga, because that's what you were calling it originally. That's what you were hoping for. And so, how were you hoping that this matchup plays out for Havoc's For Fun team?
Yeah, so basically you want to have that range versus melee in the top lane whenever you play against the Rumble, just to kind of add a little bit of extra harass. Nidalee with Grasp actually does a surprising amount of damage / has a good amount of pressure in that top lane, so I expect her to be able to push out and pressure. And then in the mid lane, the Camille generally has a pretty good time against the Yasuo Windwall, not really blocking any of her abilities or any of her power. And if you're able to burn out the passive shield with your Crescent Sweep on the Camille, it's very easy to take good trades against the Yasuo. I fully expect that to be going in her favor. Ignite is in the favor of the Yasuo, though, so one combat summoner versus the teleport of the Camille.
Yeah, we already see Nuez doing a lot of damage in the mid lanes. Using his stashes back and forth, doing a good job at trading onto this Camille, not letting the Havoc get too much done back to him. But meanwhile, on the bot side of the map, it looks like this Teemo support already going in, being a menace, harassing out this Vayne, throwing out this poisonous auto attacks and blinding darts to make sure that they feel the full rage of the Swift Scout on the bot side.
Yeah, and until Jarvan comes down to gank this bot lane, I actually don't think that the 2v2 will be won by Vayne Alistar, even if they have a good combo like that, unless they're actually able to punish it with a Condemn from Vayne. Here comes Jarvan.
And I mean, we were talking about the gank coming out from Jarvan, but Ivern's already on the bot side. The EQ comes forward from Arcane, but he's not going to get a whole lot of follow-up back in his favor. as Mariana Boutine is still moving forward, but Nuez is finally rotated down, and the Havoc's nowhere to be seen. Lucian is able to pick up the first blood for his team, but Nuav, the Yasuo, does not have his ultimate available. Jarvan goes back and is able to pick a kill onto the Ivern as the combo finds its way onto Nutty Bar as a double kill now for the red team, but Big Man Horse is left all alone as Teemo picks up a double kill just for himself. And that is going to be a 3-for-2 trade on the bot side in favor of Havoc's For Fun team, as the Teemo support gets 2 kills.
It's already begun. The Teemo getting himself those 2 kills. And that blind actually doing so much work in these early fights. Everybody on the side except for the Alistar of Hawkeye Community College relying on those auto attacks. So anytime they get down on those skirmishes, that's where you can really see the difference make in these fights. And yeah, that was like an extended 4-for-4 fight down in this bot lane, not even 5 minutes into the game. So this is actually the way that Havoc's For Fun team can kind of get themselves a good lead. Their champions, I think, are actually a lot better in the early game, just because of how much damage and the utility that they actually have.
Mid lane, the Havoc going in very aggressive there. He's not able to pick up a kill for himself as he kind of just whiffs everything, gives over a kill to Nuez there. So kill over to this Yasuo, now 2-0 himself. And there is a teleport available for the Havoc in order to get back into this lane, but it looks like he's not going to opt to use it instead, allowing this lane to push itself back out. But as you were saying, Havoc's For Fun team, they thrive in the chaos.
Yeah, you live and you die by the chaos, I guess, in that play right there. We'll see if Snidley looks like he's going to be able to escape. Actually, good to be going in for a play right there.
Ooh, Zac is on fire, jumps forward, is able to get a lot of damage down onto not today, but he actually managed to find the kill for himself off that last auto attack. But now Zac is on fire, no mana, no flash, and you see he's extremely low. But Arcane backing off there, deciding not to continue forward versus a Nidalee who does not have very much available for himself. Interesting choice, but I guess that means Zax is on fire, gets a kill, and he gets out.
Yep, and Jarvan I don't think had that flag and drag combo available, so when he threw out the flag right on top of the Nidalee, there was no way for him to actually go for the kill right there.
Ooh, as great wood wall there, dodges out from Kit's snare there, which means Nualis now has time to kind of dance around the spinning wave. He has another tornado available. That's going to be the flash forward. Arcane going aggressive here is going to be going down, but that is going to be cool. Give over yet another one to this Yasuo, and he's going to be going forward. He has it at level 6, and that is going to be the final breath coming in. And he picks up a kill for himself. Another one, now 4-0. This Yasuo is starting to get so large so early on in this game.
Yeah, and you know, Yasuo's normally are not 4-0-1 at 6 minutes into the game, so it'll be very interesting to see how he actually wants to play that. Vayne taking quite a bit of harass from this Teemo down here, and he actually did have those double buffs from that extended river fight below, so he was having a lot of lane pressure just onto this Vayne. Very difficult for her to actually go for anything. And I think that the Yasuo is definitely Hawkeye Community College's like scaling in the back pocket in a sense, but everywhere else across the map, Havoc's For Fun team is definitely still outperforming so far.
Yeah, and when you look at the scaling, you could definitely see a lot of teamfight potential for Hawkeye Community College, because you got the Vayne, you got the Yasuo, you have the Jarvan and Alistar to help the Yasuo get in, as well as the Rumble Equalizer, but on the other side, there's so much cheese. There's just a ridiculous amount of cheese coming out from Havoc's For Fun team. It really is just a fun game for them. And we see a lot of it is working out. This Nidalee in the top lane has already picked up a kill. You have all the pressure on the bot side for your Lucian Teemo bot lane combo, as we see once again Alistar going in, taking so much damage there. But now, yeah, the backup of the Yasuo and Jarvan. No EQ coming out just quite yet as Ivern lands this snare, preventing the engage. Which means that it's just going to be a quick disengage by the side of Hawkeye Community College.
Yep, and trying to roam around with that Yasuo already level 6, being able to use his ultimate even if the Jarvan does not have his 6 as well. And until more of that jungle pressure comes down into this bot lane, with the blind of the Teemo, I don't really expect there to be a 2v2 kill. He is playing super far up and just has that really good ability.
But the combo in the mid lane means the Havoc is going to be going down rather quickly to Arcane and Nuaz there. But as you were saying, until we see more pressure in the bot lane.
Yeah, until we see more pressure in the bot lane, we're not really going to be able to see this Alistar Vayne really come off the ground just yet. One more spear actually does land. Isaac is on fire. Ivern
So
pops out the
unfortunate.
Daisy, looking for a dive now onto this bot lane. Neither of them are level 6.
Yeah, Nutty Bar's going forward. He does find the cooling directly onto the Vayne, and that's going to be a kill for this Lucian picked up. This Alistar, big man Horus is left by himself, and he's going to be forced to use everything he can to try and stall that one out. He's actually able to pick up a return kill for himself off the Ignite and the turret aggro. And now is stalled enough time for this Yasuo to make his way into the bot lane. Teemo does have the blind available, so Yasuo ends up splitting his focus. Instead, he's going to be focusing on getting this Ivern. Uses the dash forward. Is he actually going to be able to get onto Kit before you can execute? I don't think so. He might be leaving it for the
Oh,
Vayne.
he's actually got this, I think.
He got the execute because the Yasuo did not commit for that. He did not cut him off from the turret. So Kit manages to execute himself. Huh.
Yeah, that seemed a little weird not to just kind of shuffle the Ivern right into Vayne, who was coming in through the lane. Kind of just gave up on the play and assumed that Vayne was going to be able to get it, but actually able to get that execute, not too bad of a result. And Nidalee already getting herself a nice little lead up in the top lane, 2 kills for her name. And I'm not really sure how strong the Nidalee is going to be outside of lane. Probably a good split push threat, but I can't really see it matching much of the pressure outside of the laning phase. So this is definitely a very lane-focused team comp that wants to get ahead early and then just try to force pressure and snowball all across the map, probably overload in some places. But, you know, if Hawkeye Community College gets out of this laning phase, they definitely are set up very well with the tools that they have in their team comp to look for some kind of a play. And
They just found his way onto the top. Isaac is on fire, is moving forward. Gets the auto attack down. Rumble's dropping extremely low. The spear does not land. But the flash forward and the execute coming up. Isaac is on fire there. Excellently done by this Nidalee to pick up that extra kill for themselves. But now Jarvan once again on the bottom side of the map. He goes forward. EQ cataclysm. That is going to be Vayne moving forward. Dodges around the ball in order to get away from the culling. That is going to be Jarvan getting the shutdown onto the Teemo, but Lucian's still alive, still doing a lot of damage, but a double kill coming out for GRF Arcane there. And now the bot lane pressure and the dragon pressure completely in favor of Hawkeye Community College. It looks like they're going to rotate over and pick up this mountain trade here off the back of a great gank by Arcane.
and that looked really cool because it was probably unintentional since the pulverize into the ground was missed beforehand. That was a nice little headbutt, knocking the Lucian into the knockup of the Jarvan right into Cataclysm. So good play right there. Unintentional, but still pretty good play. And with this Mountain Dragon picked up, that gives them some kind of back pocket insurance of neutral objectives being able to be secured in the future. So anytime they want to go for a Baron, as the game kind of goes to that state, they will definitely have the ability to, just based on how much damage they have on their team.
Yeah, now that they have that first dragon picked up, Vayne, Yasuo, two of the best Baron takers in the game due to just the sheer amount of DPS that they can put out, as you were mentioning, the amount of damage that they can do. You also have Rumble, who can use the Equalizer to fend off anybody looking to try to run in front of the blue side jungle to come for a steal. Excellent ability to use there, the Rumble ultimate. But taking a quick look, Nidalee completing the Trinity Force hit is back on the top side of the map. He's gonna watch out the shield against the slow gets them. That's gonna be a long jump with the spear into the jump. With so much damage coming out just by the auto attacks, Zac is on fire. He does not have the flash this time in order to go for the execute, but again, not today, buddy. He's taking just so much damage and so much harass from this harassment. Nidalee is having a hard time being able to return any of that damage, especially when Ivern is there to help back him up. A lot more trading going down on the bot side of the map as well. You there, my
Yeah,
man?
and
Oh,
sorry,
you
I
keep
think
muting
my,
out.
I think my mic, yeah, I think my mic was messing up or something. Yeah, actually, this is a play right here that can just be pretty easily punished. Looks like Vayne is going to be going down in the trade, but Camille also goes in, stops the Rift Herald being spawned by Hawkeye Community College. It's a pretty big save to actually go in and still be able to get out. Teemo actually looking for the solo down onto this Alistar might find himself in a bit of trouble. though, as the Yasuo roams down. But I thought maybe there would be a 2v2 fight potentially near that Rift Trail, but it looks like they didn't want to commit the Nidalee away from that tower. Tower plating falling in about 30 seconds. We'll see. Really probably going to commit for that tower down there. She has no mana, so she might actually end up going down to this Rumble. We'll see how that is able to get away. No flash for herself.
Yeah, it looks like not today, but he's sick and tired of being thrown around in the lane by this Nidalee. He is trying his best to get onto the Nidalee, but Halak is actually able to secure the kills. A weird flash thrown out on the bot lane team was able to get the blind onto the Yasuo here, which allows for Nutty Bars to pick up the kills, but on the top side, not today finally does clean up that kill onto Zac is on fire. He had to use the equalizer for it, but Shutdown Gold is going to be huge for the Rumble.
Yeah, and that was a nice little dodge out from the Yasuo EQ Tornado. If he'd been able to land that, maybe he would have been able to get the last breath off and try to go for that solo kill, but Lucian with that Bork just so slippery and difficult to deal with. Daisy is out now onto the field, and we'll see if they want to rotate up here to try to take this outer tower. There's no Yasuo for them to be able to defend with, so it would be pretty easy to deal with some tower pressure unless Alistar wants to go for an engage. Jarvan kind of wrapping around on the side right there. Not really sure if he's going to want to commit for a fight yet or not.
Looks like they were just kind of using Daisy as for a little bit of turret soaking pressure there. Interesting combo by the Havoc. Shows a little bit of Camille proficiency there, but got some harass down. Looks like this game's almost turning into an ARAM as 4 members. Just kind of running it down mid as Yasuo is on the bot side of the map. Zac is on fire, is kind of hovering towards the top side, but there's no outer turret for him to be gesturing up there, so pressure advantage to Nuance, but the engage coming up by Arcane. He picks up the first kill of the fight. Nutty Bars goes down. The Lucian is dead. Looks like it's just going to be disengaged by For Fun here as they decide not to take the rest of that fight and now kill for the side of Hawkeye Community College, and they have the split clip pressure, which means Nuance is going to be able to pick up the outer bot lane turret for free as well.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure why Lucian dashed forward under that tower near the Alistar and the Jarvan. That was pretty easy for them to follow up. Nidalee in a little bit of trouble now up in this top lane.
Zac's on fire, forced to flash away, but he's going to get slowed down by not today, but it looks like he's going to be picking up another kill for himself as Nidalee cannot outrun this flash, though, from Kit. You see, he gets the shield and the root. Is he actually going to be able to save the Nidalee's life here? No, flash forward from Rumble, but actually jumps away, is safe. That is going to be the teleport coming out by the Havoc. He uses the Hextep ultimatum, goes back in using the hook shot, is able to pick up a kill onto Big Man Horus. That is now not today, buddy, who's caught out, and he's the one going to be going down to Zac is on fire. What a great turnaround by the side of Havoc's For Fun team.
Yep, and they're able to get this inner tower as well. Yasuo continuing to push down on the bot side all while this is going on, and might actually be able to get some good tower pressure down there. But, you know, up in this top lane, they're going to probably be able to try to trade out with this as well. Nice snare onto the Jarvan.
A good snare, but the EQ coming out from GRF Arcane means he might be looking for the engage. Kit dropping extremely low, not respecting turret aggro here. As Zac is on fire, looking to finish off this turret, goes into Cougar form, is trying to get the execute onto Arcane, but he just ends up dying. A couple of auto attacks from the Jarvan.
Yeah, Arcane actually did burn his flash there. Oh!
Big Man
Last
Horus
time, right.
going forward.
Right into the loving arms of Rumble right there, but Nutty Bars has to blow his flash to get away. This feels very chaotic, and I feel like whenever the Yasuo is not involved in these fights, it's very clearly in the favor of Havoc's For Fun team. But anytime he is involved, Hawkeye Community College has a really easy team fight, especially with all the knockups and just AoE that they have provided onto their team. So for Havoc's For Fun team, I continue to expect them to try to force these fights where Yasuo is not around, and kind of the opposite for Hawkeye. We want to see them go for more of these fights with the Yasuo involved.
Yeah, and it's kind of what we saw earlier in the day, where I believe it was the first team of the day, 8K Gaming, that ran a Yasuo comp but did not play around the Yasuo. They didn't really have any kind of Malphite follow-up or Malphite engages to allow the Yasuo to follow up on it. Same with the Gragas ultimate. We saw like one combo in the bot lane early on in the game, and that's about it. And again, we're seeing that happen here, where they have the Jarvan, they have the Alistar for the combos that allow this Yasuo to get into the backline, and they can kind of get knocked up. but they're just not playing around the Yasuo. That being said, Jarvan they do manage to pick up the Dragon on the bot side. That's actually going to be the Teemo being picked up for free as well, as he just got slowed down, did not have his flash available, and the rest of his team was not in position to help him out. So a free win Drake and a kill onto Teemo given over to Hawkeye Community College. So it looks like Havix for Fun Team wants to try and re-engage. There goes Windwall, there goes Daisy. That's going to be an excellent tornado, finds his way onto the backline. Ivern immediately dropped down as Zac is on fire, is now caught out alone. Arcane and Not Today, but are going to be able to clean up the kill on the backside, whereas the Havoc trying to stall for more time in the mid lane, but that is going to be Susboy Bebop that is able to pick up a kill for himself. And just like that, it's a 3 for 0 after having already picked up the Teemo. Nutty Bar trying to get some return damage, looking for a kill of his own, but Big Man Horus still had his own ultimate available. Marina Boutin is in the mid lane now, but is not going to be able to find anything for themselves, which means 4 kills, a dragon, and a turret. Oh. You hate to see that.
Expert shroom placement by Marine Boutin right there. But yeah, I'm not really understanding why Havix for Fun Team went anywhere near that dragon. They have the Camille and the Nidalee, who are both really strong split pushers, who could very easily be trying to get tower pressure all across the map. When this team comp is grouped up for Hawkeye Community College, like we were literally just talking about right before that dragon fight, they will not lose a 5v5 with their team comp with the way the game is right now. This Yasuo and the Jarvan are just too strong as a duo, and even though the Lucian is pretty strong already at those 2 items for himself, he can't really deal with a Yasuo who has that 100% crit unless he has strong peel, which, you know, the Ivern and the Nidalee were not near him during that fight. So just really mostly about positioning and positioning on the map for the side of Havix for Fun Team.
Yeah, and we were saying that they need to be playing around the Yasuo, and that's exactly what they did, going for that objective. Baron has now spawned onto the map, which means if Hawkeye Community College wants to go for another objective-based play, they do have teleport on their Rumble, who is split pushing bot to deal with Zac is on fire, and you have your Yasuo on the top side of the map near this Baron. If you start grouping towards that top side, push in the wave, get that top turret, and start placing down ward coverage around this Baron pit, it is easily the next objective that can be done by HGC here, as they do have the better team fight composition, but it looks like they're struggling to develop wave control in both the mid and bot side of the map, and so instead they're going to be opting to try and force something in the mid lane, but fail to get the full engage there.
If that would have been a terrible engage, just because the Lucian and the Teemo were kind of separated from the rest of their team, but a little bit over ambitious nonetheless. And now it looks like they want to try to go for Baron. See, the Nidalee is still a very strong split pushing presence on the side here. Rumble cannot match her just about yet in that isolated 1v1. So kind of waiting to see what HCC wants to actually do, kind of counteract this split pusher.
Yeah, and Zac is on fire has really been just bullying Not Today, buddy, throwing him around the lane as much as he wants. It's constantly weaving in those auto attacks, looking for an opportunity to go into Cougar form and full engage for some execute damage onto this Rumble, which means Not Today, buddy, was forced to back already, and Zac is on fire, has some free time to just beat down on this turret from the bot lane, but Nutty Bars finds an engage onto Big Man Horus, and that's going to be the EQ into the last breath as Arcane turns it around. Godlike for this Jarvan, and now the disengage force out of Havix for Fun Team. Susboy Bebop is extremely low because of a couple of Teemo streams, forced to flash away from the re-engage by the Ivern there, flashing forward, did not find the root. And man, when the AD carry when you have to buy 5 red trinkets on HGC's side in order to deal with the Teemo streams, that feels bad, man. Zac is on fire, he picks up the turret on the bot side. Not today, buddy. Overheated is trying to get the return onto Zac's on fire. There is no mana for this Nidalee. Is he going to be able to cut it out? The grass proc into the execute. That Zac's on fire does clean that one up. J4 going forward does not find the EQ as the flash away from Zac's on fire, keeps him safe. And just like that, you have the bot lane turret and a couple of extra kills on the side of Havix for Fun Team.
You know, and it's very strange saying this, but the Teemo support is actually the one carrying the majority of the load for Havix for Fun Team. Even though the Lucian kind of just dashed into Fog of War and got immediately punished for that, the amount of damage that these Teemo shrooms are doing with the Liandry's, with that orb as well, building into Morello's. That's a lot of Magic Pen, and that's just so much damage that they're actually able to put out against a team that really isn't building any MR or defensive items to begin with. And we're kind of seeing how much of an impact Susboy Bebop getting chunked out so much from even one of those Teemo Shrooms. And as you were saying, those 5 sweepers definitely necessary to deal with that pressure.
Yeah, and that's kind of the power of Teemo, and why everyone hates that champion so much is because you can be completely free, as Big Man Horus was earlier, and just run across a Teemo Shroom and suddenly your life is nil. You just die from a champion who's already dead at that point. He was already taken off of the map, so it's a very unfortunate situation to find yourself in. Hence the 5 sweepers. We have not seen Rumble really using his, as he is still stuck on the bot side of the map, dealing with the split push from ZachIsOnFire. You see time and time again, this Nidalee is so ridiculously strong, has now picked up the Righteous Glory, surprisingly. Not exactly the build that I would have gone for in this situation, but if it allows him to speed himself up and get away from either full engages coming out from the Jarvan or be able to finish off a kill chasing down this Rumble, it is what works for him. So we finally see some coverage around this Baron Pit being taken over by Havix for Fun Team, as they're looking to try and start up this Baron potentially, knowing that they have a huge pressure advantage on the bot side of the map.
Yeah, and I think I understand the idea of the Righteous Glory. I'm not very familiar with like the Triforce Nidalee top build, like past Triforce. So it'll be interesting.
Ooh, there's the full engage by Big Man Horus, followed up by Nuez's last breath. They find their way onto the Teemo, but the Havoc has not gone down yet. Teemo actually gets a shutdown onto the Jarvan there as Yasuo finds his way onto Ivern. Marina Botine has not fallen yet, but that is going to be ZachIsOnFire teleporting into the back of that fight. Not even teleporting, but just walks into the back of the fight, goes down to Susboy Bebop. Nuez has not fallen either, but the blinding dart from Marina is able to pick that one up as the return kill onto the Teemo comes over. This time picked up by the Vayne. Nutty Bars is still alive, as is the Havoc, but overall it is a 3-for-2 in favor of Hawkeye Community College.
Yep, and the play is not done. Teleport by the Camille, I believe, coming in here. Does have the home guard. She is looking for a play right here to go onto this Vayne.
The Havoc wants to clean this one up, but Big Man Horus denies the opportunity. That is going to be the hookshot finally used. The Havoc no longer has any kind of cooldowns available. It's just going to be a quick disengage by HCC. But now pressure advantage on the map over for Havix for Fun Team, as the entirety of Hawkeye Community College has to back here. If they want to try and rush down this Baron, it could be a very likely possibility here.
It
looks like they have started it.
I don't think they have the damage to actually do this, even if they have Ivern tanking. Lucian doesn't really have that great of Baron killing pressure if he's the only consistent damage onto it. So yeah, it looks like they're just going to have to back off here. And I didn't really like that play from Havix for Fun Team as much in that fight. Nidalee should just be sitting in the side lane constantly, and anytime Rumble leaves, they need to understand that the 4-man unit of the Ivern through the Teemo need to be able to back off and let this Nidalee split push. That is what her build is built for, and that is where she is succeeding so far in this game. And at this point, you basically just need to be able to wave clear in the mid lane, wave clear whatever lane they're actually going for, use the Teemo, use whatever you need, and just let her pressure this inhib.
I will agree that that play was not the best coming out from ZachIsOnFire, but what I will say is he now has the entire pressure in his hands, because you forced the teleport out of Not Today Buddy. Because he roamed over, he now has the teleport advantage as the split push threat as well, which means he can now split push on this bottom side of the map, forcing Hawkeye Community College to make a move here, because they know that they have Rumble there with them. They're going to be going off this Baron. The spike comes down, and that is Kit stealing away the Baron. Havix for Fun Team picks up the kill. The Ivern is going to be dropping down to the Rumble Equalizer here. Nuez trying to find another kill for himself, but Nutty Bar picks up the kill. Now ZachIsOnFire is still inside of the net, is still inside of the base. He's going to be able to pick up the inhibitor here. The Havoc coming in from the backside is not able to pick up Not Today Buddy just quite yet, but Marina is going to be coming in. Actually, Minions are going to be finishing off that kill as Big Man Horus falls down himself. Susboy Bebop, the only person left in this team fight. The Havoc goes forward, uses the Hex up ultimatum, trying to stall out time for the rest of his team to get there, and that is going to be Nutty Bar that picks up the kill. Arcane has respawned, is in the base now, but ZachIsOnFire is just so ridiculously strong. He gets to execute, and that is going to be the win for Havix for Fun Team, with an excellent Baron steal coming out by Kit there, and a phenomenal job by this Ivern jungle. And man, what an explosive end to this game.
Yeah, this win is entirely on that Baron steal right there. If they do not steal that, Nidalee does not have the power to take the base that quickly, and the recalls would have been a lot faster on the side of Hawkeye Community College. So just in really amazing steal right there to kind of set up the rest of the play. And that that Demo support, like I said, actually did so much work in every single one of those skirmishes. I would not be surprised if he did one of the highest damages on their team.
Well, let's take a look at those graph charts then, shall we? It looks like Teemo coming in with a solid 11,000 damage lead over the next highest, or actually more like 10,000 because it is very close on those numbers there. But regardless, 10,000 damage lead by this Teemo in the bot lane. The support, Tito himself, Swift Scout comes in with those shrooms doing so much work. Surprisingly, actually, Nidalee was very middle of the pack in that game, coming in at about 4th in terms of total damage done. But if we take a look at damage done to turrets, I think that's where we really see the Nidalee coming into play, with about 14,000 damage done to structures. And so, we definitely see where this Nidalee was putting in all that work that we mentioned throughout the entirety of that game. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we have finished off our night. Havoc's For Fun team has the For Fun when using the Teemo in the bot lane. I do believe this means that Solar won every game on stream, as well as the week 3 cross group play challenge.
Yep, I believe that is just from looking at the other games that were off stream as well. Solar will be the winner of this cross group play, which means any of the seeds that they meet, even in the playoffs, will have the side selection. So actually pretty big for their group right there, for any teams that want to advance throughout the playoffs with that side selection. So thank you guys.
Chat is saying that Zach is on fire is blue is lunar. So I don't know. We'll have to go back and double check the cheat sheet, the sheet, and see where each team lands, because right now it says that Solar won the point tracking as of right now. But we'll let you guys know in the Discord who won the cross group challenge. So yeah. Any last words, Obongo?
Only thing I will say is we are going to resume our normal regular season games next week, starting on the Monday this week because of Labor Day. We had a little bit of a kind of for fun challenge between both of the groups, and we will continue back now at the regularly scheduled time, 8:30 EST on Monday and Tuesday next week. So do not go anywhere.
Alrighty. And with that, we bid you all adieu. Thank you for tuning in for our week 3 cross group challenge brought to you guys by U.GG. Make sure you check them out. Use their site for all of your champion and player scouting needs. And we will catch you guys next week. Have a wonderful night.